Hello, how are you? Let's start with our hello song. Are you ready? Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hola, 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 ¿y cómo estás? Muy bien, espero tú también. Shake hands, shake hands, shake hands next to you. Shake hands, and say how do you do? How do you do? Okay, let's do some phonemic awareness, shall we? Now remember, we had Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers that Peter Piper picked? So, let's ding if it rhymes, if it doesn't. Okay, you ready? Pick, stick. Ding. Peter has. Who do? Ding. Pepper, they. Where, there. Ding. Okay, first sound in a word. Are you ready? Enter, eh. Enemy, eh. Else, eh. Enjoy, eh. Excuse, eh. Good. Now we are going to say 3 sounds to make a word. Are you ready? Ham. At cat. At hat. Ap cap. Tan. Now the middle sound that you hear in a word, okay? Fan, pen, sit, hop, hut, Good. Now we are going to say a word and split it into 3 sounds. Ready? Kid, k-i-d. Hit, it. Fill, f-i-l. Sit, s-it. Will, w-i-l. Good job. Now I am going to say a sound and then we're going to put another sound in front to make a word. Are you ready? Repeat after me. Ugh. Put a j in front and you get jug. Good job. Up. Put a k in front. Cup. Ugh. Put a p in front. Pug. Put a h in front. It's hun. Ut. Put a n in front and it's nut. Good job. Now we are going to take off the first sound and see what's left. Are you ready? So repeat after me. Lead. Take off the all and you get ed. Pet. Take off the p and you get et. When. Take off the w and you get n. Leg. Take off the all and you get egg. Beg. Take off the b and you get egg. Well done. Now then, do you remember? If I said a word, if I said bedroom, That is a word that has 2 syllables. Bed and room. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, again, 2 syllables and make a word. Are you ready? Bedroom, bedroom. Kitchen, kitchen. Basement, basement. Bathroom, bathroom. Garden, garden. Mailbox, mailbox. Good. Now I thought we would read 2 parts of this book and see if we could find any words that have 2 syllables in them, okay? That are made up of 2 syllables. So the book is called One Lighthouse, One Moon. Lighthouse, lighthouse. It talks about the days of the week. Black shoes on Monday. Red shoes on Tuesday. So do you see any words with 2 syllables there? Did you hear any? We had Monday, Monday. And then we also had Tuesday, Tuesday. Okay, let's see. Blue shoes on Wednesday. Yellow shoes on Thursday. So here we had Wednesday, Wednesday. Yellow, yellow. Thursday, Thursday. Green shoes on Friday. Pink shoes on Saturday. And white shoes on Sunday. So we had Friday, Friday. Now Saturday is 3 syllables. Saturday. How about Sunday? Sunday, Sunday. Good job. Now, it says here, one lighthouse stood on a rock by the sea. 2 boats sailed by. So I think we have lighthouse, lighthouse, lighthouse. 3 sailors waved to 4 girls dancing on the shore. So here I think 3 sailors waved to 4 girls dancing on the shore. So what do you think we have here that's 2 syllables? Sailors, sailors. And then we also had dancing, dancing. Five whales blew spouts of water in the air. 6 pelicans dozed. 5 whales blew spouts of water in the air. 6 pelicans dozed. So I think there we had water, water. Good job. 7 seagulls bobbed on the waves. 8 geese flew south to avoid early snow. So what we have there? 7 seagulls bobbed on the waves. What do you think? 7, 7. Seagulls, seagulls. 8 geese flew south to avoid, avoid. Early snow, early, early. 9 fisherfolk walked home with their catch. 10 trees bent in the wind. 9 fisherfolk walked home with their catch. 10 trees bent in the wind. I think fisherfolk have 3, doesn't it? But I don't think there's any that's got 2. Let's see. And 100 stars and 1 moon lit up the sky. 100. 100. 100. Good. Now, did you notice where we are in this book? We are by the ocean, aren't we? We are by the sea, or rather an ocean. Do you know what an ocean is? So an ocean is a very large body of water. And if we looked at the earth and we were trying to work out how much land is there in the earth and how much of the earth is covered in water, this is what we would get. Much of the earth's oceans take up the earth's total area. So what you have, all of this, if we took the whole world, this amount, roughly about 79%, would be ocean. And this part is land. So there's a lot of water. Now, if you took all the water in the earth, let's think, where do we find water in the earth? We find oceans. Where else? What do we live by here? There's lakes. And what tends to start off as a stream and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and it slowly flows down to the sea? That's right, it's rivers. So if we take up all the water that we have, the earth, just about all of it, except for this tiny little slice, are the oceans. So the oceans comprise of most of the water that you will find on the earth. Now we have a lot of life in the ocean. So let's have a look at this book. It says, commotion in the ocean. Now, does that rhyme? Ocean, commotion. Kind of does, doesn't it? It's by Giles Andre and David Wachowicz. Commotion in the ocean. Here we go. There's a curious commotion at the bottom of the ocean. I think we ought to go take a look. You'll find every sort of creature that lives beneath the sea swimming through the pages of this book. There are dolphins, whales, and penguins. There are jellyfish and sharks. There's the turtle and the big white polar bear. But can you see the wrecks and between the rocks? Let's take a look. Who's hiding there? Crab. The crab likes walking sideways. I think the reasons why is to make himself look sneaky and pretend that he's a spy. turtles. We crawl up the beach from the water to bury our eggs on dry land. We lay a whole batch, and then when they hatch, they scamper about in the sand. Dolphins. The wonderful thing about dolphins is hearing them trying to speak. It's not how do you do, as I'd say to you. It's more of a click, whistle, squeak. Angelfish. Hello, I'm the angelfish, darling, the prettiest thing in the sea. What a shame there are no other creatures as gorgeous and as lovely as me. We have a jellyfish. The jellyfish just loves to jiggle, which other fish think is quite dumb. She knows that it's not at all that useful, but jiggling is a lot of good fun. Shark. I swim with a grin up to greet you. See how my jaws open wide. Here we go. Why don't you come a bit closer? Please take a good look inside. These little fish are going, yikes. Swordfish. Here we go. Look at his long nose. I love to chase after small fishes. It keeps me from getting too bored. And then, when I start feeling hungry, I skewer a few on my sword. The octopus. Having 8 arms can be useful. You may think it looks a bit funny, but it helps me to hold all my children and tickle each one on their tummy. Stingray. At the bottom of the ocean, the stingray flaps his wings, but don't you get too close to him. His tail really stings. Lobster. Never shake hands with a lobster. It isn't a wise thing to do. With a clippity-clap and a snippety-snap, he would snip all your fingers in two. Now, you get to the point in the ocean where it's very, very dark because the sunlight doesn't get down there. But there are all these different kinds of fish that live in the deep, deep ocean. Miles below the surface, where the water's dark and deep, live the most amazing creatures that you could ever meet. There are fish of all descriptions, of every shape and size. Some have giant pointy teeth and great big bulging eyes. Some of them can walk around and balance on their fins, but the strangest fish of all have glowing whiskers on their chins. The blue whale. There's no other beast on the planet as big as the giant blue whale. He measures a massive 100 feet long from his head to the tip of his tail. And here, right at the bottom, you see these. These, I think, little creatures called barnacles, and they kind of cling to the whale. It says, we're just a bunch of barnacles, and all we do is cling. We know it's not that glamorous, but it's our favourite thing. Now here's a walrus. Our bodies are covered with blubber, and our tusks are incredibly long. We're grumpy and proud, and we bellow out loud to show that we're mighty and strong. Penguins! We waddle around on our icebergs, which make our feet slither and slide, and when we get close to the water, we leap with a splash off the side. And then here are polar bears. They fish in the ocean, don't they? Polar bears. Deep out in the Arctic, the mama polar bear snuggles up with all her children since it's very cold out there. What a lot of creatures we have seen beneath the sea, and what a lot of funny things they do. Some of them might lick their lips and eat you in one bite, and some might want to swim around with you. The dolphin's very friendly and the lobster's very fierce, but the shark is the most dangerous by far. Can you name the other fish we've met along the way? and see if you can tell who they are. There we go. It's the end of the book. Now then, if you go to the lake is made out of what is called fresh water. Now in the ocean, what you have is salt water, and it tastes very salty. So we are going to do a little experiment. We're going to take some fresh water and we're going to take some salt water, and we're going to see what happens when we put an egg in there. Will the egg sink or will the egg float? So I'm going to bring this up so that you can see a little better. So here is our glass of fresh water. And here is our glass of salt water. Now I put the salt in before so that it could dissolve, because it gets quite cloudy. But what you would do in your experiment is you would take 2 glasses of fresh water, and then you would add 6 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of salt. And then you would stir it around and get it to dissolve. It may take a little while to dissolve and disappear, and not all of it may dissolve, but that's okay. Then you take 2 eggs. Now let's have a look. What do you think will happen when we put an egg into the fresh water? Do you think it will sink or do you think it will float? What do you think? Ready? It sank. Went straight to the bottom, didn't it? Now what do you think is going to happen when I put it in the salt water? Let's have a look. Look at that. It floated, didn't it? This one sank. What did this one do? It floated. Now, why do you think it did that? Let's have a think. What is the difference between these 2 glasses? They're the same shape. They both have water in. But what is the other difference? They've both got an egg in. One is floating, one is sinking. What did we add to this glass? What's the difference between these 2? That's right, we put salt in this one. Now I wonder, but you know what? Maybe it's something to do with the egg. So this one originally went in salt. And this one went in water. So let's swap the egg around. So we know it's not the egg that is the difference. So it must be the salt that we put in the water, isn't it? Now this has all something to do with what is called density. And density is something where you look at the relationship between matter and volume. So in other words, it's how many objects you have in a particular space. So for example, if you have, here is a house, okay? And in this house here, you have 3 people. In this house, you have 8 people. So this house is more dense. It's a bigger density. Has more things inside its space. So another way of thinking is, think of jumping into a swimming pool. So you can swim in a swimming pool, can't you? Because it's just water in the swimming pool. Now try and think how it would be swimming in mud. Now that would be a little more difficult, wouldn't it? Because in mud you have water and earth. So the earth has made the water more dense, made it into mud, makes it more difficult for you to move around in it. So what we have here is we have just water. So when we put the egg in, that's the only thing that is in this glass of water. But when we put the egg in here, we have all this salt. And the salt has made the water more dense, and it is pushing up the egg. It's making the egg float. It's more difficult for the egg to go down in the water because the salt is there. Good. So you could try this at home if you wanted. You just need 2 glasses, some water, some salt, and 2 eggs. You could try putting other things in. I have absolutely no idea if putting something else in, whether it would float or whether it would sink, be a good thing to try, or whether it just works with eggs. I don't know. That's the fun of experiments. But why don't you try that at home? Okay, you have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.